Yo, what's up guys, welcome to the Canadian Grand Prix. Today it's time for part 9 of my team career mode, of course. I didn't have the time to do a 50% Grand Prix, that's why I decided for you guys to see this episode to go for a 35% Grand Prix. For me personally, I think this was one of my most fun Grand Prix, so one of my best Grand Prix as we see an upgrade fail. But let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see 35% Grand Prix or 50% Grand Prix. Because most of the time, if 50% Grand Prix is just waiting until something happens. And this 35% Grand Prix was full of action, so you'll see that throughout the entire video. We have to decide to agree or decline with opening the gym. We actually agree with closing it actually. So that loses a bit of pace for my teammates. It was otherwise team acclaim, so yeah, it was an easy option as we get a lot of upgrades here. But yeah, as I said, this will be a great Grand Prix, so don't click away just yet. Enjoy the video. And of course, that as always starts with qualifying Q1, and we are starting this one lap on the soft. Of course, this time is not a wet qualifying, it's dry. As you can see, it's still cloudy, but I think it will be dry for the entire qualifying. Maybe the race will get a wet section, but we'll find that out in just a few moments time. You can see this lap here, 42.7 seconds it took us to do 2 sectors. And as we come to the World Champion, almost colliding into that one, we cross the line and it's actually P3. So that's enough for Q1. We are going through this quickly because of course we don't have to show you stuff because we have to show something. My teammate's still getting P20, so it's just getting sadder and sadder. I would have loved to get a new teammate. I said this in a previous episode as well, but I would love to get a new teammate as soon as possible because we are once again through to Q2. I think it was maybe once that we didn't get Q3 or Q2, so that's quite sad to see that my teammate couldn't even get into Q2 once in these 9 episodes that we've had so far. But with this one lap, you can see once again purple first sector. The first sector is our fastest sector with how the setup is based. I think it's a bit more downforce based with the first sector compared to the other two. And we are once again in the top 5. It's top 4 for us, and that goes to P9. So 2 times in a row we only have to do 1 lap, and it is once again enough. Of course, the car is getting faster and faster with a lot of upgrades coming for this circuit. So I think that's the reason why we are so fast. And by the way, Norris and Alonso once again on the same time. They both want to be my teammates, and that's why they are so equal to each other. But we are now in Q3, 2 laps this time. I don't want to risk it on 1 because we are of course not on pole position in just 1 lap. Or maybe we are, depends on how fast this lap goes, as I was quite happy with this first lap. As you can see, going through the first sector, coming up to the most dangerous part of this track, because you can easily get track limits here, and that can immediately defeat you. If you want to have a fast lap, it will immediately send you to hell and not give you a lap. As we go to P4, got P3 first, but Leclerc had to do a faster lap than me, and in the end it's P4 once more. So with 1 minute remaining, we are starting our lap, our final lap here in qualifying today. We are the final car to start our qualifying lap. It looks like we are not improving that much in the first 2 corners, but hopefully we can improve a bit more in the next few to see how fast we actually are. Qualifying is now complete, improving by 3 tenths. This time, once again, we set a purple sector 1. Stepping goes through a 110.5. We can't hit that, so it won't be qualifying pole position for us as we are dropping down to P9. Everybody is improving. Verstappen is probably in P3 now, and we cross the line to finish in P6? Yes, we are P6. Nice. That's actually quite good. And because it's as good as this is, I decided to up the AI level to 99. I think it's just necessary because otherwise we are not a team top team just yet, and it looks like we are with ourselves. Of course, not with our teammates, but we are faster than Lewis Hamilton, only 2 tenths away from pole position. This is going to be spicy.
Montreal is not only the second largest French-speaking city in the world, but it's home since 1978 to the Canadian Grand Prix. The name Villeneuve looms large over this one, but who can write their own legends today? With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, 2.7 miles of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Lightning, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Stroll, Gasly, Albon, Oscar Piastri, Ocon, Bottas, Tsunoda, De Vries, Drugovich, Magnussen, Sargent, Joe, and Nico Hulkenberg rounds off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And with me today, of course, is Natalie Pinkham. Let's talk about Lightning. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within the team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do. And that has definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Alright, so the strategies are mediums to hards, mediums to hards. I don't know why you would do a 2-stop if the 1-stop is available with the same amount of tires. But we are starting, of course, in P6 now with level 99 in our AI level. 95, of course, is our racing number. That's our beautiful car. I don't know, I like this car. A few people have told me that they like the car as well. If you disagree, let me know in the comments down below. But we are here to start the Canadian Grand Prix. Let's see what we can do as the 5 lights are out and away we go. Quite a good start, as you can see, faster than Charles Leclerc, going to the inside immediately to get a fast start. Maybe trying to go for the inside move on Carlos Sainz, but that didn't work as we are going 3 wide into turn 2. But we are the one to come out ahead as we have a collision warning with Lewis Hamilton. We don't care about that, he is quite fast, so he deserves to be a bit punished now and then, as we already get our first track limit warning. And we are still in the top 5. Quite a crazy start to think about what happened in Spain, losing a few positions after the start, and of course finishing in P6. But today it looks like we are actually faster than Hamilton and Leclerc so far, so maybe we can even improve to beat Verstappen, Sainz, and you know, maybe we could even go higher than that and beat Perez and George Russell. Of course, last episode was the Spanish Grand Prix, and that one, it looked like Mercedes was doing quite well, as Lewis Hamilton is going for the overtake as I'm speaking about them, talking of the devil, of course. But George Russell, he's not that fast, you know. I think it's mostly Lewis Hamilton who's carrying the team, because now it looks like we are just one big pack. They are, of course, getting away a tiny bit, but for the rest it looks like we are, of course, still really fast. We should even be able to get a podium here if we can get past Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen. But the gap to the leaders are now, yeah, they are non-existent. So we are quite happy with this pace that we have here today. As Carlos Sainz makes a mistake, we immediately look if we have some damage. But we do not have any damage. Our tire wear is still good after 8 laps. And it looks like we are doing quite well here. Still P4, and you can see the gap behind is 3 seconds now. Lewis Hamilton is not catching up to me, but we are catching up to Verstappen and Perez. Of course, losing a lot of time with battling to each other, Verstappen and Russell. As Perez is getting away, he's now the leader of the Grand Prix. He hasn't been that in a long time. If I'm talking about real life, of course, I'm sorry to say that, but he hasn't been doing that well most recent races. As Verstappen and Russell are fighting, we are going into the pits for a early pit stop. because I don't want to get into that fight. You might be thinking, like, Nick, that's a lot of content that you can get there. Well, I think it's better for us to get an undercut and actually try to win this race. I told you guys, win this race. Because we are now looking at where Verstappen and Russell are. We are in P3 and we are actually staying in P3 now. PS3 and Perez still having to make a pit stop, but we come out ahead of Verstappen and Russell. They are 2 seconds behind. That's how powerful the undercut is. As we now put in the fastest lap, never mind, Hamilton goes for the fastest lap. And we, oh my god, we are actually leading a Grand Prix. You can see I wiggled my steering wheel because I was actually that happy. But we are actually now never mind. We were leading a Grand Prix, nobody has to make a pit stop anymore. But now we are with 10 laps remaining in P2, still a good position to finish in. But we want the win. We know we have the pace, we know we have the car today, even though we upped the AI level. As you can see a lap later, we are improving our personal time, as I think that's Albon out of the Grand Prix. This time it's not my teammate, which is quite rare to see that my teammate is not out of this Grand Prix. Or any other Grand Prix, of course. But you can see we are still within 1 second of Sergio Perez. He's not that strong today. If it was Verstappen, who had a good car and had a good race today, well, then he would have easily won this Grand Prix. But he's not that fast either. We are still really close behind Perez, even to the point that we are trying to attack him. We get ourselves into the wall of champions. We take a look, and it looks like the damage is still not there. Luckily, of course, if we had damage, then it would ruin our race. As Perez, I want to say Verstappen because he's in P1. But Perez is now in P1, of course, as we only have 2 more laps. 1 more lap after this one. I think we have to go for this move. Down the inside we go. It's a move for the lead, and we actually managed to get it. Oh my god, are we going to win this race? After upping the AI level, of course not to 100 because I thought it would be too big of a gap, but we are going to 104 if we win this race after, of course, it's done. But Perez and Russell are fighting quite hard. The gap is now 1.4 seconds behind, and I think that has just given us the win. If not, Perez would have easily overtaken us in this race, but now with 6 tenths between us, final straight, is he going to take my dreams away and going for that win? He's looking down the inside, it's not happening just yet. Only 1 more straight to go, and then we are Grand Prix winners once more in this game. It looks like we are winning. Oh my god, we've just won a Grand Prix. We are race winners in F1 23 My Team career mode. Oh my god. I don't know what to say. The only thing that I can really say is let's level up our AI even more.
They take the checkered flag then here in Canada in what has been another fabulous Grand Prix. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I feel consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Here comes your top 3 making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula 1.
A perfect entrance. Oh my, I still can't believe it. We have just won the Canadian Grand Prix. Our first Grand Prix win with our team, of course. As you can see, I'm really happy. Really happy with this one, as the podium is myself with somebody, a team member who I actually don't know. Sorry. And of course, George Russell and Sergio Perez on the podium as well. But we are on the top step. We couldn't get a podium in Spain last time, but now we managed to get first position. You can see the difference between us and Perez at the finish was only 39 thousandths of a second. It was only 400 of a second, so that's really how close it was. 4 drivers finished within a second, as Verstappen is in P4. 25 points, that would really help us, as my teammate is in P16. We're doing a bit better as well, but with P16 you're not going to stay at the team if your teammate is winning Grand Prix standings. Let's take a look. We are up to P7 with 57 points now. a big gap to the leaders, as Verstappen and Leclerc are only 1 point away from each other. The fight at the front is still really close, as the top 3 teams are only 5 points away from each other. We are now in P4 ahead of McLaren and Aston Martin. That's a big jump for us, you know. And I'm really happy with that one. Of course, unfortunately, we lost the rivalry to Lando Norris, as he got the amount of points that he needed, as we are now in Team Acclaim level 8, going almost up to level 9. We got 108k cash from our sponsor, because of course we finished P1. I don't know why we got any damage, but it said that we got damage, so unfortunately only half the amount of money that we could have gotten. 4.5 million is now in the bank, so we can now get Fernando Alonso to be our teammate for the second half of the season. But that's not for today, of course. Today it's time to actually, unfortunately, end this Grand Prix and end this video. So if you want to see some more videos, then please subscribe to the channel, of course. Like this video as well if you want to see the Austrian Grand Prix. That's an awesome video as well. Then yeah, put your notification on, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to get ourselves to 500 subscribers. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.